In the opening scene, we meet Lauren Monroe, a well-known lawyer. She is offered $1 million to defend a criminal but declines, saying her conscience won't allow it. Lauren is known for caring more about justice than money. Next, we meet Lauren's younger brother, William Monroe, a politician aiming to become the mayor of New York City. Their father, Archer Monroe, a wealthy businessman, is shown struggling to breathe. He manages to get into his car, but dies on the way home. Lauren learns about his death while at a press conference and is deeply shocked. In the next scene, Lauren, William, their mother Catherine, Lauren's husband Scott, and their daughter Claire attend Archer's funeral. After the funeral, Lauren and William talk. William mentions that their father was proud of her, and they discuss the idea of moving their mother closer to them. Later, Lauren goes to her father's office and recalls how he used to teach her to play chess, relating it to the game of life. A week later, the Monroe family's attorney, Harold, announces the late Archer's will. According to it, Catherine is now the CEO of their company. William is provided with $20 million, while Lauren is given only $1 million. The remaining $50 million are to be donated to the police and medical schools. After announcing this, Harold approaches Lauren privately and hands her a package, saying it was left to her by her father. Upon opening it, she discovers a pen drive and a pair of keys. She inserts the pen drive into her laptop, only to find a video of her father telling her that she must carry the truth to her grave. He apologizes for not being able to tell anyone about it when he was alive. After watching the video, a stunned Lauren walks into the woods where she finds a surface with a lock that appears to be an entrance. She uses the key from the previous package to unlock it, only to discover stairs leading to a basement. Following this, Lauren musters the courage to walk down the bunker, despite the darkness. When she opens a door, she finds a man bound. She bravely checks on the man, but he suddenly moves, causing her to flee in terror. Lauren returns home and decides to call 911 for assistance, but her brother intervenes at the same time. He expresses that he feels bad for her regarding the money distribution, so he wants to share his part. Lauren refuses the offer, saying money isn't important to her. Later that night, her husband Scott checks on her, and she says she's fine but needs some alone time, so she sends him and their daughter Claire away. She looks at a childhood photo with her father, remembering an argument where he wanted her to defend their wealthy friends in court, but she refused because she doesn't defend criminals. The next morning, Lauren goes back to the bunker with a gun. She finds the man inside sleeping and quickly takes his fingerprints to identify him. He wakes up, causing her to run away. Later, she returns wearing a mask and questions him. The man knows everything about her, including her birthday, her brother, and her marriage against her father's wishes. She removes her mask and asks again about his identity. The man says he feels like a family member after being held captive for so long. He asks if she's a good person, and when she says she is, he tells her to release him because that's what a good person would do. However, Lauren believes that he did something to warrant his confinement. She tries to figure out what's going on, but the man first demands juicy steak, potatoes, Caesar salad, gold water cigarettes, and a 30-year-old bottle of scotch. He also adds that it would be preferable if he could shave. Lauren threatens to leave him to rot, but he's unaffected and responds that her conscience will not allow her to do so. Knowing he has the upper hand, she decides to meet his demands and gives him a razor before leaving. When Lauren gets home, she sends the fingerprints to her detective friend Emilio, asking him to gather the information as soon as possible. Following this, she buys everything the man demanded and heads back to the bunker. After so many years, he finally receives the delicious food and begins to enjoy it with tears of joy. She also gives him a chocolate bar, which causes him to become emotional. The man informs her that her father used to bring him chocolate once a year and give him one square piece while leaving the rest on the shelf to mock him. After satisfying himself with the food, he introduces himself as Morgan Warner. He then starts revealing his past story. According to him, he met Archer 30 years ago, and they quickly became friends because they shared 3 vices: gambling, ego, and women. They became business partners, and one night they had a few drinks together before driving. On their way home one night, Archer accidentally hit and killed a pedestrian. Morgan wanted to call the police, but Archer insisted that without a body, there would be no crime. So Archer buried the body. When Morgan protested, Archer attacked him and imprisoned him in the bunker, fearing that Morgan would report him to the police. Morgan also revealed that Archer had an affair with a woman named Sophia, who was everything Archer's wife. Lauren didn't believe this, so Morgan gave her Sophia's address and told her to check with Harold, who had records of everything. Though overwhelmed, Lauren stayed calm. She called Emilio to check on a man named Morgan Warner. Then, she went to Sophia's address. Sophia told Lauren that she met her father at a poker game. During their conversation, Lauren noticed a boy's photograph. Sophia revealed that the boy, Alex, was her son and Lauren's half-brother. Shocked and unable to handle the truth, Lauren left crying. She then confronted Harold, furious that he had kept such a big secret from the family. In response, the lawyer says that it's his responsibility to keep the information private. Lauren then inquires as to what else he's been keeping hidden, to which he responds that there is nothing else that can harm her. Furthermore, he admits that he'll still keep the rest of the information hidden, so he suggests that she forget it. Later, Lauren pays a visit to her mother, who is preparing for William's election campaign. She asks if she's heard of Morgan Warner, but it doesn't ring any bells. Shortly after, William walks in with his face tense. When asked, he says he's losing some polls, so he requests Lauren to come to the rally, because she's well known for her honesty at work. The same night, Lauren returns to the bunker to uncover more information. She inquires about the location of the pedestrian's dead body that her father buried. Following this, Morgan proposes a deal that if he takes her there, she will have to release him. Lauren reluctantly accepts and finally leads him outside. This makes Morgan very emotional as he's stepping out of the bunker after a long time. Just then, Lauren receives a call from her husband, Scott, who inquires as to where she's been. However, Lauren only apologizes and hangs up the phone, promising to make up with them soon. Following this, Lauren drives to the location given by Morgan. After a while, they arrive, and Morgan points out where the body is buried. Morgan sits back and smokes while Lauren starts digging. Her fears are confirmed when she discovers a human skull, proving Morgan was telling the truth. Distraught, she hides the skull again and takes Morgan back to the bunker. She asks him to put the collar back on, but he begs her not to betray him. Morgan argues that as an honest lawyer, she shouldn't be as cruel as her father. He shares his pain, saying he couldn't even attend his mother's funeral, and pleads for his freedom, promising to disappear from their lives without causing harm. Despite his plea, Lauren apologizes and walks away, eyes welling with tears. The next day, she visits her brother William's office, seeking advice under the guise of a court case. She asks what he would do if someone knew dangerous secrets. William casually suggests either dumping the body in the river or hiring goons to make the person disappear. After some thought, Lauren returns to the bunker with a bag and makes Morgan promise that he will vanish forever. He says that he's been in this hell for longer than she's been alive, and that once she releases him, he will never look back. As a result, Lauren agrees and asks him to clean himself, telling him that he'll be released tonight. Following this, she goes to Harold and asks him to arrange for $1 million and a jet to fly off someone who her father had wronged. The world inquires about the reason, but she refuses to reveal it to him. In the next scene, Morgan is about to leave, but Lauren asks if her father has told him anything about her. He responds that Archer was proud of her, but he didn't like her going against his friends. At this point, Morgan reveals another secret about William, who bribed the union reps. Lauren is shocked and confronts William about it right away, but he believes that bribing is necessary to obtain a higher post. He also claims that their father even bribed people to get her appointed as a district attorney. Unable to stand it any longer, she slaps him and storms off, warning him not to lie to her again. Finally, Morgan leaves the bunker carrying a chess piece as a souvenir. The moment he steps outside, he breathes in the fresh air and feels liberated. Then drives him to the private jet, where Harold hands him his new ID cards and informs him of the funds in his account. Harold and Morgan then board the jet, while Lauren returns to the bunker to clean it. During this, she discovers a poison under the bed, but she doesn't react, believing that everything is over. Meanwhile, Emilio locates Morgan's file and delivers it to Lauren's residence. In the next scene, Catherine returns home and unwraps Lauren's package. Since then, Lauren walks in and asks why she's looking at her work. Instead of responding, her mother asks fearfully why she has the picture of Carson. Lauren claims that his name is Morgan and honestly discloses that her father had been keeping him in the bunker for years. Hearing this, Catherine reveals that the man is a cold-hearted serial killer. She then asks about his whereabouts, but Lauren admits that she let him go. Following this, she rushes to the airport, only to find Harold and the pilot dead. She quickly realizes Morgan is after her mother, so she dashes back home, but Catherine has already gone missing. A few moments later, she notices the bunker's door is open, so she goes in and finds her mother unconscious. While she checks on Catherine, Morgan appears from behind and turns off the light. He then attacks her, knocking her out before tying her up. After she awakens, he admits to injecting her father with the poison that eventually killed him. He also reveals the actual truth about the past. Morgan tells her about the night when he gave Catherine a pill and forced himself on her. At the same time, Archer came there for his wife's aid and drove him to the bunker, but on the way, Morgan distracted Archer and caused them to collide with a pedestrian. It's also revealed that Morgan was the one who buried the body, despite Archer's objections. When Morgan decided to blame Archer for everything, the latter knocked him down and dragged him to the bunker, where he was assaulted brutally. At present, Lauren attempts to persuade him, stating that she will assist him in obtaining justice for whatever her family did to him over the years. However, Morgan claims that he does not make deals. He wants them to rot there miserably, just like he did for 30 long years. He also shares his plan to go after the rest of their family members and destroy the family's legacy, using all of the secrets he knows. He then reveals himself to be her biological father, and this revelation knocks the wind out of her. At the same time, Catherine manages to grab the gun and shoot him in the back of the head. The film concludes with the mother and daughter dousing the bunker in gasoline, lighting it on fire, and watching it burn.